So you're running a business, small, medium or large. Mercedes-Benz claims it's got the right solution for you, and this solution is called the Sprinter.
In 1995, Sprinter replaced the well-dated TN. First generation Sprinter was named International Van of the Year 1995. First and second generation was also sold as Volkswagen Crafter, albeit VW used its own drivetrains. Now Mercedes and Volkswagen are going their separate ways. Mercedes promises holistic approach to transport and mobility solutions, connectivity, Internet of Things. All this sounds very technical and serious, but perhaps you're more interested in how much can you pack into the new Sprinter.
The simple answer is it depends. There are 6 body variants. You can choose between a panel van, a tourer, a pickup, a single cab chassis or a crew cab chassis, and in some markets there's also a bus and a tractor.
It can be rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. Sprinter gets a 6-speed manual, 7-speed automatic or a 9-speed automatic gearbox. There are also 4- and 6-cylinder diesel engines with power ranging from 114 to 190 horsepower, and as of 2019 there's also going to be an electric eSprinter. Gross vehicle mass ranges from 3 to 5.5 tons and even up to 8 3/4 tons in the tractor version. Maximum load volume is 17 cubic meters at 5.5 tons load. Wheelbase ranges from 3,250 to 4,325 millimeters and length from 5,267 to 7,367 millimeters.
This means more than 1,700 combinations. The biggest Sprinter can carry up to 20 people, but today we're testing a panel van, a pickup and a 9-person tourer.
Let's look inside the tourer. This is a 9-seater version, driver and 8 passengers. Position of the seats can be adjusted to get more luggage or passenger space. Seats recline so you can take a nap in relative comfort. Each of the back seats gets an ISOFIX mount. There are also 4 1.5 amp USB-C charging points with smartphone holders. More ports, sockets, storage and other cool stuff is in the front.
I don't recall many cars where I can just walk from the back seat to the front seat. Very convenient, very comfortable. Just don't let this thing drive itself because it can't, not yet. There is, of course, a place for my smartphone and a place for my passenger's smartphone. There are, well, 4 cup holders down here. In a manual gearbox version, you can get only cup holders on this side or no cup holders at all. And in a version where you have 3 seats in the front, there is obviously nothing here because the third passenger needs to keep his or her legs somewhere. But that's nothing, because what I want to talk to you about is MBUX, and that's Mercedes-Benz User Experience, the new infotainment system, which debuts in the new A-Class and the Sprinter. So the first thing you're going to see is that it's very, very responsive. It's got pinch to zoom or zoom out, whatever you need, and it shows you live traffic information. Okay, it's nothing we haven't seen in other cars, but it's in a van. And another thing you can do, or this system can do, it actually understands voice commands. So if I say, "Hi Mercedes," nothing happens. Perhaps it needs to be on. Yes, probably I need to turn the ignition on to actually make it work. So let's try it again. "Hi Mercedes."
How can I help you?
"I'm hungry."
Please select an entry.
And we get a bunch of restaurants in the vicinity. Cancel.
Could you repeat your input, please?
Cancel. Of course, I can say something else like, "Hi Mercedes,
How can I help you?
I need to refuel."
Select an entry, please.
Cancel. And and again I get directions to the nearest petrol station, etc., etc. Now there are other cool features here. There is of course Mercedes Pro, which allows you to see, hungry, coffee, hotel. It's even got presets here. Anyway, Mercedes Pro is also cancel.
What can I do for you?
Cancel. You can't say the M word or this thing is gonna come on. You can turn it off, by the way, so it doesn't have to recognize your voice. So I'm not going to say the M word. Anyway, with Mercedes, with MBUX, you also get fleet monitoring and stuff like that, which is very useful in a business situation. This car also gets surround view camera, which makes parking in this over 5 meter long car much easier. And there's even a mobile app, and with this mobile app you can lock the car, unlock the car, so if someone needs to leave something in your car, you can unlock the car for them, which I suppose is also very convenient. Now, I can talk about these cars for a long time and about the system for a long time, but we'll get to that system probably a bit later when I get the car for a longer review, maybe in June, July, when the car comes to the market. Let me just talk briefly about the interior here. Now, there's plenty of storage here. In this version, it's lockable, but depending on how you spec the car, these can lock or be left open. For example, up here, there are also two quite large compartments, and this one, again, is lockable. Bit flimsy, though. I would probably leave it completely open, but you know, if you need to store some sort of documents, that kind of stuff, you can put it up here. It's not really supposed to protect you from the thieves, it's supposed to deter them, let's say. Enough talking, let's get to the other cars. There is also a panel van waiting for us and a pickup version. So we're going to see how they look and how they drive. This here is a 3.5 ton Sprinter, 3.5 gross vehicle mass, so I can drive it with my regular driver's license. Now, as you can see, there is a lot of space in the back here. Finishing materials can be either especially light or heavy duty, depending on what sort of stuff you want to carry. Now, there is a lot of arrangement options. You can hang stuff by the roof. You have beams like this to hold stuff in place. What's also important is that you can put load on the wheel arches, something that's that makes the car much more versatile. And one more thing about this particular model, this is actually a rear-wheel drive car, so it's got normal loading height. However, if this were a front-wheel drive car, because it's one of the 3 drivetrain options, it would have the loading area 50 millimeters or 5 centimeters lower than in here, making it even more versatile, even more easy to load. So, what is this holistic approach all about? If I'm going to say Mercedes realizes, MBUX is going to cut in? No, not this time. Anyway, so Mercedes realizes businesses, what the actual... Don't. Cancel. That thing, that company that makes this car realizes that businesses need more than just a car. They need fleet management tools, and thanks to the advanced communication systems, it's easier, theoretically, to monitor and direct cars when, where, and when they are needed. Just don't say the name of the brand, because it's gonna trigger it. It's like saying, hey Siri, sorry, or okay, No, you don't say that either. Anyway, that brand, MB, also promises low TCO. Existing technologies have been optimized in order to boost efficiency and to reduce wear. So, for example, undercarriage and side panels are now galvanized for rust protection, something that apparently previous generation Sprinter users had problems with. If longer downtime is planned, the car can be switched into so-called hibernation mode, in which energy use is minimal, and therefore it is easier to start the car even after a long period when it's stationary. Service intervals are now up to 60,000 kilometers for the rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive models, or 2 years, or 40,000 kilometers, or 2 years for the front-wheel drive model. It doesn't mean you have to wait so long, because maybe the computer will tell you to service the car earlier, but theoretically you can change your oil filters, etc. as rarely as every 60,000 kilometers. Thanks to optional telematics services, fleet managers can receive information about parts wear in various vehicles, which allows them for better planning of service and repairs. MBUX updates are done over the air. At the time of launch of the new Sprinter, Mercedes offers 8 management service packages on 19 European markets, and I triggered the car system again. So whatever you do, do not say Cancel, please. It's listening to you all the time. I saved the most Spartan version of the Sprinter for last, because that way I can compare it to the more refined versions I drove today, and to be honest, this does not feel very coarse. Of course, it's not as good as the Tourer or the panel van, which had automatic gearbox and all that, but it's still pretty nice. Now, the main differences when it comes to the manual gearbox, you don't get the nice cup holders down here. Oh, I love cup holders. Cars with cup holders are the best. You don't get them down here because this is a 3-seater. So there are 3 seats across. You may see this orange case down here because I didn't want to put it on the bed. But anyway, it's in the place where the third passenger would keep his or her legs. That's not to say that if there are 3 passengers, there is nowhere to put your stuff. My camera bag is actually under these seats. So there are 2 storage compartments here, so you can put your whatever, head protection, some sort of helmet, whatever you're wearing on a construction site. You can put like some protective jackets, shoes, that kind of stuff. There is a divider, probably for rigidity reasons, and if there weren't a divider there, I would probably be able to fit this case down there. This is an airplane size case for my gear, so that would probably go in there. Unfortunately, it's just my camera bag and some other bits and pieces. Speaking of bits and pieces and clothing, there is also a hook here, so you can hang your jacket, whatever. In the panel van, there were also 2 hooks here, which sort of slightly obstructed visibility, especially if you have a panel van with glass in the rear. Now, speaking of glass in the rear and visibility as such, visibility to the sides is very good. Big mirrors, they are divided into the bigger section, which shows you the road further back, and then there is the smaller one, which shows you what's going on right next to the car when you're maneuvering. However, as this is a big, tall car, and as we are in the Netherlands today, there are a lot of small cars on the road, like an Opel Corsa or a Volkswagen Up or whatever. These small B and A segment cars are virtually invisible when they are right behind me. I mean, unless I see like the tip of the roof or maybe an antenna sticking out, I don't know I have a car behind me because I can't see it in the side mirrors, and probably I won't be able to see it in the rear view mirror either. I can see bigger cars, so probably compact and bigger saloons, and of course other vans. These I can see. As far as driving is concerned, this does not feel agricultural, this does not feel coarse. It feels pretty good. Now, the panel van and the tourer are fitted as standard with something called the Crosswind assist system. Basically, it's an ESP-based system which brakes individual wheels to keep you going straight when there are a lot of crosswinds, and trust me, today it is very windy in the Netherlands where I'm filming. Some of the noise you can hear in the cabin is not the actual noise of this car, but it's actual wind noise. Yes, this particular car may not be best sound insulated, but it's okay, I guess. I mean, it's a working vehicle. You don't need it to be as quiet as a Mercedes. Hold on a second. Oh, I said it again. Cancel. So I'm not supposed to say the name of the car because the infotainment system wakes up and asks what it can do for me. This actually is an MB, so it could be refined if it were a limo, but it's a delivery car. Never mind, you know what I mean. Okay, I also like the fact that you can steer with everything. Whoops, I think I need to go here. Sorry about that. That you can steer with everything, all the systems, etc. And I think I'm lost. Am I lost? Am I lost? Or maybe I'm not. I might be. Whatever. We'll just drive, and SatNav will find our way for us. Anyway, I like that. Okay, I can use MBUX. With a touch screen. Obviously there are a couple of physical buttons down here which make it also possible to navigate within the system, and there are also controls on the steering wheel. The left side is for the cruise control and for the display between the dials, and the right side is for radio, infotainment, sat-nav, etc., etc. And you even get these little touch panels like you get on a Mercedes E-Class, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I think this is all I have to say for now about the Sprinter, so as not to use the M word and not to activate the MBUX. You can, by the way, you can switch it off if you want to. It doesn't have to do voice recognition, voice commands. Is that right, Mercedes? Okay, so you can't use Mercedes at the start of the sentence. That's how it works.
Prices of the new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter started just below €20,000.
And do you have any experience with vans? If so, let me know in the comment section below. Share, rate, subscribe, and of course join me for another episode next week on Friday, or as soon as you click one of the links displayed here.